All right, new video.
Pickup video.
Starting off with manuals, you know how I like to start a pickup video. Here we go. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. It's a game that I, honest to God, still have not beaten. Started it a lot, but I've not stuck through to the end. I will. Game Boy Star Wars. Solar Striker, a fun shooter. Shoot 'em up. Mortal Kombat 3. Metroid 2, love this game. Love this game. Regular old Mortal Kombat. It's a game I had as a kid, and I actually ended up with it because I traded away Donkey Kong on the Game Boy for this, and I always regretted it. But either way, I still had fun with Mortal Kombat. Castlevania Adventure. Really difficult game. I don't know if the manual's going to help, but got it. And Superman X-Men on the Game Boy. Next up, I have one new NES manual, The Goonies 2. It's a bit of a complex game. This is a hot item right now, Adventure for the Atari 2600, so got that. Let's go through some Game Gear real quick. Sonic and Sonic Chaos for the Game Gear. Doom 32X. And then the rest of these are Genesis. So I picked up Genesis ones that, especially if I had the box and the game and not the manual, because I wanted to complete it. But also if I either just liked the game or had some tie to the game or owned the game, I grabbed the manual for it too if I could find it. So, starting off with Tasmania, Mutant League Football, which by the way, this is a hardy manual. It has 90 pages. 90 pages to a football game where monsters are the players. So, pretty cool. Original Sonic. WWF Royal Rumble. I played this game so much as a kid. It's one of the best wrestling games in this generation, for sure. Original Mortal Kombat, one of the first games I played on the Genesis at my cousin's house. All the blood. Cyborg Justice. It sounds cool, but looks terrible. I'm interested. Columns. A bit boring, but I have the box and the game. Might as well have the manual. Same for Alien 3, which actually looks fun. I've never tried it, but I'm gonna give it a whirl at some point. Shining Force 2. I'm actually playing this right now, and it's good to have this piece. It's a bit tattered, but it has. I mean, it's used, and it's been used well. It's got a lot of notes in the back, which I just think is awesome. And Shining Force 2, the Shining Force series has become one of my favorites, so good to have that. Earthworm James. Very difficult. I've never beaten this, but manual. That's fun. Altered Beast. One of my favorite games. One of my favorite arcade ports on the Genesis. Lethal Enforcers. Adventures of Batman and Robin. This is sort of a high-dollar Genesis game. I have the box and the game, so nice to have the manual to complete that. Taz Escape from Mars. I remember my sister buying this for me when I was a kid. It's not a great game, and I lost the manual at some point, so I got that back. There's some Super Nintendo stuff. Out of This World. I don't even own the game, but the manual looks cool. RPM Racing, made by Interplay. I think it was one of Blizzard's first games, or the company that later became Blizzard's first games. It's a isometric racer, much like Biker Mice from Mars, I guess, or Rock and Roll Racing. Tin Star. Roadrunner's Death Valley Rally. None of the Roadrunner games are good, unfortunately. And lastly, an N64 game, NBA Hang Time. Me and my buddy used to play this all the time. Love Hang Time. Alright, so that does it for manuals. Let's get those up and out of the way. Next, I'll show you some non-video game stuff, but still video game related. These bookends. Jake actually gave me these, and they're good because I use them to bookend games, of course. And you got Sub-Zero getting fucking punctured through the wall, and Scorpion sending the old harpoon through. It says Mortal Kombat right there. You can see it there. Look how cool that is. And these are my two favorite Mortal Kombat characters, Scorpion especially. And so these are cool. So thank you, Jake. I really do like those a lot. They're so cool. All right, non-gaming. I got some records. I'll get those out of the way. Like I said, I'm trying to collect, a lot of the bands I grew up listening to. And so AC/DC and Aerosmith, starting in the A's, I guess you could say. So got AC/DC, blow up your video. It's got heat seeker on it. That's probably one of the bigger ones. I don't know. I don't think the rest of them are too popular, but it's decent. But they have worse. They have worse. I haven't listened to it yet, but it's Monty Python's The Life of Brian. I love Monty Python. I don't know exactly even what this is. It could be a series of skits or maybe the soundtrack from the movie. Either way, I'm totally stoked about it. That's pretty cool. It's in really good condition as well. And lastly, Queen, the game, one of the best Queen albums. It's got Another One Bites the Dust on it and Crazy Little Thing Called Love. So really good stuff there. So those are the vinyls I picked up. Got a little bit of literature. Not a manual, obviously, but I went to some thrift stores and I found 2 copies of Ninja Turtles magazine, a magazine that I would walk by in the store as a kid and just drool over. Always wanted it. Parents never bought me these. I don't know why, but they're pretty cool. They have details about these were put out when the movies were being made, so they have details about the movie and the film, some comics, ads for toys, you name it. It's really awesome. So then I got a couple Nintendo Powers I didn't have. I'm trying to get sort of that first 75 or so. It's kind of my sweet spot, my sweet era. And so I got this one. This is volume 44. It's got Mickey on it. And this one from when Empire Strikes Back came out on the Super Nintendo, volume 53. All right, let's get to some games. So I got some NES games. I'm closing in on about 570 NES games, so they're getting a little bit harder to find ones I don't have, but occasionally I'll find some that are inexpensive or not completely rare that I need. That includes Genghis Khan there. Be honest with you, the Koei games, a little boring to me. I'd like to play them, I'd like to get into them. Clax, a super fun game, really addictive. It's sort of like Tetris with a conveyor belt, I guess you could say. Firehawk, this is I think it's a sort of a flight sim kind of game or a top-down sort of military game. I can't remember, but I have played it, I just don't remember what it is, but obviously unlicensed. And then the Namco version, I think it's the Namco version. Yeah, the Namco version of Pac-Man. Got some Super Nintendo games. Street Combat, which I assume is a beat 'em up. Wing Commander Secret Missions, which I'm assuming is a shooter or... No, actually, I've tried this. It's a flight space shooter. First person spaceship. There's probably a term for that. 10 stars. So I just got the manual for this. So now I got the manual and the game. Gym Power, The Lost Dimension in 3D. I tried to play this for a hot minute and it is hard. So I like the style though. It's just hard. And then Pink Goes to Hollywood, based on the Pink Panther. Da-doomp, 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 ba-doomp, ba-doo, ba-da-doo. Lethal Enforcers 2 on the Genesis, and it's got manual and game. Bada bing, bada bow. I got 2 PSP games. I had some car rides coming up, and so I wanted to facilitate those with some games to play. Love the Medieval series. I'd like to get 1 and 2 on the PS1. I haven't done that. Haven't found them at a price I like. And of course, Ppapapapapa the Rappa. Both fun, both good games, decent pickups. Then I got some boxes. So I got some boxes for my NES games. I don't collect CIB, I know it looks like I kind of do because I'm piecing together manuals and that kind of thing. I just get whatever's cheap, but I don't really have a goal in mind for that. But these are all $5. Well, these were both $5 a piece, just the boxes. And this box is in really good condition. And this box I just really want because you couldn't already put together. I'm a pretty big Turtles fan. So, again, I love the boxes, and these will all be complete because I have the boxes and the manuals and the games for all these. And this box was actually $10, and it's in really good condition though. So, good pickups, good pickups. I got a little knick-knack. Everybody knows Toys R Us is going out of business. I'm a big Simpsons fan, once again, if you couldn't already tell from the hat. So, pick this up. Also, big Aerosmith fan, and they had Aerosmith Joe Perry from the Simpsons episode that he was on with the whole band. for sale. I wish I had the whole band, the whole set. That'd be awesome, but so far just this one. Took it out of the packaging. I don't like packaged figures, and I didn't want to be tempted to collect them in the packaging, so I already took them out. And there's old Joe Perry from Aerosmith, chilling and wheeling in a Dylan. Alright, I guess we just got 2 more items, and so these are the big closers here. Once again, collecting from the NES. Sometimes I just don't, it's rare that I go to somewhere where the games I need are there and they're at price I'm willing to pay. And it's becoming hard. It's becoming hard. And I go into the store, a buddy of mine runs it. He's the same guy that sold me Jetsons, Action 52. So a few of the higher end titles that I own came from this guy. And I shared the story on the podcast, but essentially I go in and immediately he slams this on the table and he tells me a buddy of mine, and of course you can't see it, but he says, I better get this before a guy that we know comes in and gets it before I do. And I love a good turf war, and so I ended up buying it and then bragging about it to the other guy and was like, look what I got, look what I got. And he tried to play it off, but it's a war now, especially from my point of view. So I should tell you what the game is. The game is L'Empereur. I don't speak French, but it's another Koei game, and I did my due diligence, put it in and played it for a hot minute just because I put the money on it. Not fun. I think a manual would do me good, especially for a lot of the Koei games. So I'm gonna seek out some manuals for these guys and see if I can string together a playthrough. And I don't know. I want to try it though. The collector in me is happy, but the gamer in me is like, what are you doing? And then last, but absolutely not least, okay, this is a big old white whale for the old collection. And I haven't been going hard on Super Nintendo, but lately I've been picking up some of the big hitters because I know the prices are not gonna slow down anytime soon. And I found this one for a price and finally made me happy. Still hurt. It made me happy. I got Earthbound. All right. I got it. Ah! And I'm pretty happy to own it too. So this is sort of the, aside from Evo and a few others on the console, I think I got one of the last Super Nintendo games that I'm willing to fork a lot of money over for. I'm really happy to have it, so I'm going to play through it, obviously, pretty soon. Excited to have it. So that pretty much does it for all my pickups. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it was a lot of stuff. So thanks for watching. Check out my other pickup videos. Check out some other picker-uppers within the Cartridge Club, and I'll link all those in the bottom. Thanks for hanging out, and go pick up your own stuff. How do you close that pickup video?
Pickup video.